I sit with my back to the corner, watching the tavern door.
I'll smoke my pipe and observe the common room.
Both playing Rangers?
Yup, we should probably pick different spells.
Let's discuss then the best Ranger spells Tier 2 for 5e D&D.
Welcome to Nerdarchy. For nerds, by nerds, I'm Nerdarchy Steve, and usually I'm hanging out with this nerd.
Nerdarchy Ted.
Maybe it's your first time visiting Ted's basement. It's a place where we like to discuss news, views, and homebrews for 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. Sometimes we even talk about other role-playing games.
So if you don't want to miss a single video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and attune to that notification bell.
Tier 2 for the Ranger, we're going to pick our 5 best spells using our usual method, and we're going to break that down by attack, buff, defense.
Iconic, utility, and overlooked.
Exactly.
All right, so I'm going to start off with our attack spell, and, I'm going to dive over to D&D Beyond. Makes it very easy for us to get in and, analyze and diagnose these spells.
But that's not all. We have to point out, in all fairness, D&D Beyond is an official sponsor of the channel and this video. And it's just an amazing digital tool for looking up everything you ever want to know about anything in Dungeons & Dragons for 5th edition. It's a great database. They have all kinds of homebrew stuff over there, but they even have a bunch of free stuff that you don't even have to pay for.
So if you want to get access to the SRD, you want to get access to the articles, you want to get access to the videos, all of that is free stuff. It'll improve your game. It'll make you enjoy D&D that much more. Definitely recommend you checking out D&D Beyond.
All right, what do you got for an attack spell?
All right, so attack spell, we're going with 3rd level Conjurer Barrage. Range area is a self with a 60-foot cone. It's an instantaneous duration. It's got a dex save, casting time of an action. It's got verbal somatic material. It is conjuration, and it's got, interesting effects. So you throw a non-magical weapon or fire a piece of non-magical ammunition into the air to create a cone of identical weapons that shoot forward and then disappear. Each creature in a 60-foot cone must succeed on a dex save, taking 3d damage on a failed save, half as much on a successful one. The damage type is the same as that of the weapon or ammunition used as the component.
So, the interesting thing with that is you do have the ability to choose between slashing, piercing, and bludgeoning. Really just present a different weapon. I want to say for this one it was really tough because Lightning Arrow is another really good spell. It's a line effect. It does a lot of damage to a single target and with some potential damage to do other targets. But Conjurer Barrage is a huge area. It doesn't do as much damage, but if you have a field full of enemies, you can get a lot of them.
60-foot cone is pretty impressive. And, whether you're, tossing an arrow or, even a sling bullet into the air, those things are pretty darn cheap. That is just massive. If you've ever seen the template for the 60-foot cone, it is impressive.
It's huge. You want to take out an army on a battlefield, that's the spell to use for sure.
Indeed.
So I went with the buff spell, and we went back and forth on this one a little bit, but I settled on Dark Vision, and that's a 2nd level spell, 1 action to cast. It's a touch spell, verbal somatic material, duration 8 hours, not concentration. And you touch a willing creature to grant it the ability to see in the dark. For the duration, the creature has dark vision outdoor range of 60 feet. Now, I like this spell if I'm playing a character that does not have dark vision, because it lasts a long time. You don't have to worry about lanterns and torches. And maybe you have a party that everyone has dark vision except for one character, right? That one character is going to F it up for everybody. But if you have access to dark vision, boom, touch them for 8 hours, they're good. That'll probably take you through most of your adventuring day until it's time to rest anyway. Right. So you don't have to worry about those pesky light sources giving away your position in the dark.
Yeah, it is really useful. There's only a handful of races that don't have dark vision within the 5e rule set, and it does alleviate that massive problem of, well, crowd, what are we going to do with the human? What are we going to do with this dragonborn? Okay, well, bloop, it's not concentration. You don't have to worry about going away. It is 8 hours for a 2nd level spell slot. That's a gimme. And, Rangers are not the go-to casters, so it might take you a little while to get to that second level spell slot. But once you've got it, problem solved.
Well, and not only that too, like a big part of the Ranger kit, I feel like is Hunter's Mark. And that's a concentration spell. So you don't want to be filling up all your other spell slots with spells that require concentration, because when you know what hits the fan, you're going to want to be able to Hunter's Mark somebody. And they're like, oh no, I can't because I cast whatever spell on this guy over here. And that's going to end the spell.
That is true. So our next one up is going to be in our defense category, and there I'm looking at also a third level spell slot, non-detection. Range is touch, duration 8 hours, also not concentration. Casting time is an action, verbal somatic material, school is abjuration, and the effect is deception. For the duration, you hide a target that you touch from divination magic. The target can be a willing creature or a place or an object no larger than 10 feet in any dimension. The target can't be targeted by any divination magic or perceived through magical scrying sensors. And it's got a pinch of diamond dust worth 25 gold sprinkled over the target, which the spell consumes as your component.
So we really like that one because it is a ironclad defense against divination magic. It's going to dovetail into our next spell really well. It lasts a long time. Like you said, it's not concentration. And, the Ranger's bag is about being sneaky, right? Well, what's the point of being sneaky when the wizard can be like, blah, 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 wiggle
there you are.
There you are. Not with non-detection, they can't. And then when you combine non-detection with the natural stealthiness of many Rangers, and then combine that with our iconic spell, Pass Without Trace, a second level spell, one action to cast, ranges an area itself, verbal somatic material. Duration 1 hour, unfortunately, is concentration, but this time it's worth it. A veil of shadows of silence radiates from you, masking you and your companions from detection. For the duration, each creature you choose within 30 feet of you, including you, has a plus 10 bonus to dexterity, stealth checks, and can't be tracked except by magical means. A creature that receives this bonus leaves behind no tracks or other traces of its passage. So, by magical means, except for if you have non-detection on. So it goes really well. This is actually one of the best spells in the game. A flat plus 10 to your stealth check means no matter how terrible you are, you can't get less than a 10.
11.
Well, you could have a negative.
Oh, okay, that's true.
With a -1, you would have a 10 if you rolled a 1. But you can max out at well over 30.
Oh, yeah.
And so this means your non-stealthy characters wearing heavy armor are now extremely stealthy.
Oh, yeah. So, it's great. I've seen this used, a lot of different ways and, a lot of times. Really great spell. So next we're going to be moving on to our utility spell. And for that, I've got Speak with Plants. It's third level, range itself, duration 10 minutes, not concentration. No attack or save. Casting time is an action. It's only got verbal and somatic. It is transmutation, and, well, it's called Speak with Plants, so it's communication. You imbue plants within 30 feet of you with limited sentience and animation, giving them the ability to communicate with you and follow your simple commands. You can question plants about events in the spell's area within the past day, gaining information about the creatures that have passed, weather, and other circumstances. You can also turn difficult terrain caused by plant growth, such as thickets and undergrowth, into ordinary terrain that lasts for the duration, or you can turn ordinary terrain where plants are present into difficult terrain that lasts for the duration, causing vines and branches to hinder pursuers, for example. Plants might be able to perform other tasks on your behalf at the GM's discretion. The spell doesn't enable plants to uproot themselves and move about, but they can freely move branches, tendrils, and stalks. If a plant creature is in the area, you can communicate with it as though you shared a common language, but you gain no magical ability to influence it. You can cause the plants created by the Entangle spell to release a restrained creature. It's long, it's wordy, but the amount of different things that you can do with that one spell is just amazing.
Very utilitarian, you would say?
Very utilitarian.
Yeah, Speak with Plants is great. I mean, you can use it to gather information. You can use it to hinder pursuers or just enemies in general. You can use it to not get your party hindered by the environment. You can use it to stop spells like Entangle. So there's definitely a lot of versatility with this spell and things that you can use it for. And I think it also gets overlooked a little bit. So it's kind of a cool spell. But speaking of overlooked, we're going to go with Wind Wall. It's a 3rd level spell. 1 action to cast. Range is 120 feet. Verbal somatic material. Duration is a minute. It is concentration. And it's a strength save. A wall of strong wind rises from the ground at a point you choose within range. You can make a wall up to 50 feet long, 15 feet high, and 100 foot thick. You can shape the wall in any way you choose as long as it makes one continuous path along the ground. The wall lasts for the duration. When the wall appears, each creature within it must make a strength saving throw. A creature takes 3d8 bludgeoning damage on a failed save, half as much as damage on a successful one. A strong wind keeps fog, smoke, and other gases at bay. Small or smaller flying creatures or objects can't pass through the wall. Loose, lightweight materials brought into the wall fly upward. Arrows, bolts, and other ordinary projectiles launched at the target behind the wall are deflected upward and automatically miss. Boulders hurled by giants, siege engines, and similar projectiles are unaffected. Creatures in gaseous form can't pass through it. So this spell can be used offensively. It can be used defensively. It's going to have some utility uses to it. You can basically shut down ranged attacks if if there are archers on one side of the battlefield and they're peppering your melee allies. You could put this up as a screen. It would protect them.
So that's you using your own matrix. Just no.
Pretty much. If an area is full of poisonous gas or something, you could use this to get rid of the gas. So there's a lot of ways that you could use this and it would be helpful.
So gaseous creatures, can't pass through it. So like if you've got, essentially air elementals and that kind of stuff, like she's like, nope, you're not getting me.
Yeah, or if you just want to throw up a 50-foot wall and just do a bunch of damage to enemies. And I mean, you could literally zigzag it through a battlefield if you want it and hit a lot of creatures at once, or, basically a 50-foot long line effect. Not bad. The only downside is it being concentration, but it does have duration. So I feel like this is a spell that a ranger might find some good uses for.
I would have to agree.
But the question is, what do you think? We got a place where you can tell us all about it, and that is down in the comments below. Before we head on out, let me take a moment to invite you to join Nerdarchy the Adventuring Party over on Patreon. What do you expect there, Ted?
We're creating products for 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons that both players and DMs alike can drop right into their game.
But that's not all. We do monthly giveaways, and our patrons are automatically entered.
We do weekly hangouts with our patrons and more.
So quest on down to the description, join the Nerdarchy Adventuring Party on Patreon, and until next time,
stay nerdy.